Let's get one thing straight right out of the gate. There is no such thing as nature's Ozempic. No supplement, food, or tea perfectly replicates the pharmacological profile of a prescription GLP-1 drug. Prescription GLP-1s like semaglutide work by flooding your system with synthetic peptides. These molecules bind directly to your cell receptors and remain active in your bloodstream for a full week, overriding your body's normal appetite signals. Natural approaches do the opposite. They force your gut to rebuild its native hormone production, acting as incretin reconstructors. This creates a trade-off. Synthetics provide exogenous control with zero effort. Rebuilding natural pathways requires supplying your internal factory with perfectly timed inputs. If you want a clinical look at these strategies without the marketing hype, hit the subscribe button and let me know in the comments where you are currently on your metabolic journey. The difference between these two paths is simple. You can pay a pharmacy to rent a synthetic metabolism, or you can attempt to rebuild your own. Today, we're evaluating the exact biological costs of trying to own it. Our first strategy focuses on mechanical triggers. These are physical inputs designed to hit the nutrient sensors in your upper digestive tract before your meal even starts. One of the most studied tools for this is Whey Protein Micro-gel, or WPM. The protocol is rigid. You consume a concentrated 10-gram dose exactly 15 minutes before your largest meal of the day. In trials, a 10-gram dose spiked native GLP-1, reducing blood sugar spikes by 22%. Healthy fats similarly activate receptors, signaling satiety and slowing digestion. But these triggers cost spontaneity. Furthermore, fats introduce a high caloric load that can stall weight loss. These mechanical inputs effectively smooth out glucose curves, but they force you to trade a casual relationship with food for a timed, data-driven one. Shifting focus to the lower gut reveals your long-term biological factory. This is where your microbiome manufactures sustained GLP-1 release. The primary fuel for this factory is fermentable soluble fiber. To see a measurable effect, you need a daily intake of 35 to 40 grams. Your gut bacteria ferment this fiber into short-chain fatty acids, or SCFAs. These molecules bind to FFAR2 and FFAR3 receptors in the colon, triggering a sustained hours-long release of GLP-1 into your bloodstream. You can optimize this factory by supplementing with live strains of Akkermansia muciniphila, a bacterium that interacts directly with your gut lining. These bacteria secrete protein P9, which binds to ICAM2 receptors on your L cells. This interaction demonstrates a dose-dependent increase in hormone release of over 2,000%. The trade-off is physical and financial. Ramping up fiber too quickly causes significant GI distress and bloating. And because Akkermansia is a live strain, it requires extensive chronic use. If you stop, the colony and hormone production dissipates. While the microbiome factory provides the most potent natural release of GLP-1, it requires a permanent financial commitment and weeks of uncomfortable digestive adaptation. Next, we evaluate botanical catalysts, plant extracts that use chemical signaling to alter your metabolic state. Taking 500 milligrams of berberine before meals triggers receptors to release stored GLP-1. It also activates AMPK, improving insulin sensitivity and reducing liver glucose production. However, because it functions like metformin, combining berberine with prescription diabetes drugs can cause dangerous drops in blood glucose. Yerba mate tea acts as another catalyst. When consumed early, its ferulic acid is metabolized by gut bacteria into dihydroferulic acid, stimulating L cells. The trade-off here is dependency. The effectiveness of yerba mate relies entirely on the health and diversity of your microbiome. Botanical supplements offer powerful optimization, but they are ineffective or potentially hazardous if your foundational gut health and medical context are ignored. Our final category is the cofactors, supporting elements that act as a cleanup crew for your cellular receptors. These inputs include apple cider vinegar, 1,800 milligrams of NaC daily, and trace amounts of chromium. These compounds work by smoothing glucose curves, reducing oxidative stress, and repairing insulin receptors. This ensures your cells are sensitive enough to respond to GLP-1. The trade-off here is pill fatigue and the unpleasant logistics of liquid vinegar. Furthermore, these cofactors will not drive weight loss or major metabolic shifts on their own. Cofactors are the finishing touches. They are effective for fine-tuning a protocol, but they are secondary to the heavy lifting of protein and fiber timing. Natural GLP-1 boosters are not isolated magic pills. They are a system of physiological triggers that require high daily effort to maintain. When we plot effort against impact, the divide is stark. Pharmaceutical GLP-1s provide high impact for very low effort. The 7 natural alternatives form a cluster in the high effort zone, providing moderate to high impact depending on your consistency. This determines your ideal path. For the medical patient, someone with severe obesity or uncontrolled type 2 diabetes, the natural route is too slow and unreliable to replace medical interventions. For the transitioner, someone cycling off synthetic GLP-1s, the priority shifts to whey protein preloads and Akkermansia to wake up dormant L cells and manage the return of hunger. Finally, for the optimizer, someone reversing mild insulin resistance, the return on effort is highest when focusing on berberine and the strict 40-gram fiber protocol. Pharmaceutical GLP-1s allow you to outsource your metabolism to a syringe. Natural pathways demand that you restructure your entire daily routine. The choice is clear. You can pay in dollars to rent your health, or you can pay in discipline to truly own it.